All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about alleviating iliotibial band, IT band inflammation. And something that I've struggled with over the years is just to get this tight, kind of wooden dead tissue feeling down the side of your leg. And also when you're going to walk upstairs, when you get that quadricep action, it's almost like the quadricep is extremely tight and tightening up and not giving you the strength and the stability that you're begging for across the knee joint. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to warm up on the assault bike. So after warming up on the assault bike, I'm going to get myself a foam roller. I'm going to take this warm tissue that I've activated in my leg and I'm going to start palpating. We're using the Nicholas Institute of Sports Medicine trigger point release therapy technique. So it starts with palpation, putting some pressure onto the tender sore spot, and then from there we're going to try to lengthen the tissue and then we're going to retrain it. So I'm starting off with just seek and destroy. So hunting over the landscape, really tracing out the whole length of that tract and finding where it's tight and where it's tender. And then when I find something that's extra tight, I'm gonna really start to grind on it and breathe into it and contract and relax and contract and relax. Then I can even floss it, meaning I'm sliding the tissues through a range of motion while they're being tacked down on the roller. That feels really excellent. Not. I can continue my seek and destroy, find another spot, scrub, floss, roll. Oh, there's just one spot right there that just really needs it. Give it the business. Next, let's break into an elevated pigeon. I'm letting my knee drop down below the bench. If your knee ends up hitting the ground, you're more flexible than I am, so more power to you. There's the ground. But it doesn't require any Zen-like focus or concentration. You just need to be able to relax. I beat up the tissue a little bit. This may not be the ideal stretch, but I know that it's connected because I'm getting a broad swath of tissue coming off of my hip, pelvis, wrapping below the tibia, and I'm getting a nice big stretch down the outside of that knee, keeping this perpendicular to my body, trying to fold forward, trying to fold at a 45, trying to fold it in opposite 45. Oh, that really hits it. And that really winds it up. Maximum torque. Woo! Definitely trying to keep the torsion out of the knee joint and have it really be in the belly of the muscle. So as discussed, we start by waking up the tissue with some low intensity or low impact cardiovascular movement that activates or uses that body part. So in this case, we use the assault bike to warm up the legs, warm up the whole body, get the blood flow, wake the body up, let it know it's getting into an excited state that needs to be utilized for movement, right? And it didn't require me to really aggravate the area at all. So Then we smashed, mashed, sawed, and palpated, put pressure on, massaged, worked the musculature in the area that was giving us the problem. Now we are in the stretch phase. So in theory, or if you're thinking about this mechanically, what is happening is we're activating the muscle, bringing blood flow to the tissue. We then are breaking up the adhesions, breaking up any of the tight spots with the pressure. From there, now that we've gotten this softened up, juicy muscle, we're gonna then stretch it, try to open it up and give it more range, restore the range of motion, restore its active utility. So now first I did the pigeon stretch. Now I'm working the couch stretch where I've got my foot wound up behind me. I'm pressing forward, stretching all through the front of my hip, hitting my hip flexors, quadriceps. And I can feel where there's tension, and I'm trying to work with that tension so that I can open up, lengthen, and restore the shape of what needs to be there from an underlying structural perspective. I can work different angles. I can drive forward, sideways. Okay, next, retraining the musculature of the upper portion of the leg. So now we've got quadriceps to the front, we've got hamstrings to the back. So it's not about just one or the other. We're gonna need to activate and retrain both sides of this band of connective tissue, the IT band that kind of bifurcates the front and the back of the leg. So retraining is the tricky part because we want to maybe work different ranges, pieces of the range of motion without overusing or re-aggravating the area that's in question. For me, it's pretty much right through here. It's the majority is the front of the leg. I'm going to work some, basically some box squats, some single leg box squats. It's just going to allow me to get up and kind of in a controlled fashion, use the upper half or upper third of the range of motion in correcting and trying to wake up that leg. I'm going to really be mindful, trying to keep the kneecap tracking straight and not plopping down onto the box or onto the bench. And so I feel like this is probably a little too low for what I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm going to throw a 45-pound weight on here. Whatever configuration you set up, you want to make sure that it's not going to be stable and isn't going to put you in a situation where, see, oh, that's nice. That just allows me to have a lot more control. It allows me to activate and wake up that leg, try to get it to work the way I want it to work without getting into that area that's been causing me trouble. So I can creep up on the problem, and now I can really kind of work this leg, find out what's going on with it, do some high-level, deep diagnosis diagnostics of what's going on there. I'm really able to say, you know what? Now I can feel other parts of the leg start to wake up. I'm working my hip extension, the glutes and the hamstrings are coming on, and I'm also able to use that quadricep to extend that knee. And it feels pretty good. Now I know if I take away the plate, I probably am not going to see, I'm going to probably return to that instability, but it actually feels a little bit better, at least in the upper portion. So I've kind of condensed the problem and I'm narrowing in on it, and I'm going to continue now working from the other side, working the hamstrings, and that'll wrap things up. All right, last bit of this progression, trying to work the hamstrings, get the back of the legs firing now. Make sure we've kind of worked 360 around this problem area in the IT band. Hello? Come, Bubba. Go on, Bubba. Come. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on. Come on, come around. Come around. Come on. Go around. it. That's it. Good boy. Good boy. That's a 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 good boy. Oh, your breath smells like deer poop. Stop. You're going to rip my throat out. All right, we're doing hamstring activation here. Oh, reverse plank, puppy tag.